My wife pranked me by disappearing at JFK with 50 minutes to board our Italy flight. She filmed my panic from across Terminal 4 for TikTok. So I grabbed my carry-on, walked out, and left her there. She swore I'd overreacted. Of course, we'd been married 5 years, and her humor was basically, wreck my day, then call me dramatic. She once fake cried at dinner with my boss and announced I'd been fired to see his reaction. Another time she canceled my haircut the morning of our photo shoot to test my confidence. Look it back, I kept lowering the bar just to keep the peace. Italy was supposed to be our reset. I'd been pulling 6 zero-hour weeks in Midtown to earn the PTO, and I wasn't missing this flight. The TSA line was crawling, bins clattering, people sighing. I turned to tell my wife caller Lena we had to move. She was gone. I called. No answer. I texted. Nothing. 10 minutes passed, then 20, and my throat went tight. I kept wondering if she'd gotten hurt, or if I was about to be the punchline again. I told TSA my wife was missing and heard myself sound unhinged. 30 minutes in, she strolled up with a Diet Coke and a Hudson News bag, like she'd been shopping. Where the hell were you? I said. She grinned. I wanted to see what you'd do if I disappeared right before an international flight. Then she raised her phone. She'd been recording me the whole time. I didn't scream. I just said, okay. Then I extended my suitcase handle. Then I turned away from her smile. Next, I walked past the departure boards. After that, the terminal doors opened in front of me. Then her laugh chased me, still thinking it was a bit. Again, her tone snapped. Wait, are you serious? And I got into an Uber and left anyway. I shut my phone off for 2 hours. When I turned it back on, I had a flood of missed calls and texts from her and her mom. Her parents paid to move her flight, and she went to Rome the next day, posting a Trevi Fountain selfie about solo healing. That's when I realized she could turn my boundaries into her content. I crashed at my friend's place. 3 days later, I went home for clothes, my work charger, and to make sure my Lego Millennium Falcon was still alive. She'd left a note on it. Talk to me, please. She tried to talk like adults. I said, you want to prank me first? Fake a heart attack for likes? She snapped back. It was one joke. You're blowing up our marriage. I told her, you ditched me at an airport and filmed me like I'm entertainment. She rolled her eyes and said everyone saw how crazy I looked. I couldn't tell if she believed that rewrite or just needed me to. She cried, but she didn't apologize. She accused me of humiliating her. I said, I'm not your punching bag with a punchline, and I left again. A week later, she asked to talk, for real. She said she was sorry and didn't think I'd actually leave. I stared at the table and said the quiet part out loud. You don't love me. You love the version of me that panics well on camera. She whispered, I love making memories with you. I said, no, you love filming them. 2 weeks into living at my brother's, he showed me her Instagram story. Rooftop bar, Manhattan. Her arm around Josh, a former coworker she used to joke about. Caption, travel plans canceled, but Nick nights are healing. I sat in a CVS parking lot for 2 hours, not even angry, just stunned. The next morning I called and asked, are we separated or are we still married? She said, I don't know, you left. I asked if she slept with him. She swore no, then added, but even if I did, can you really blame me? In that moment, something clicked. Consequences were temporary to her. Everything could be reset as long as she said sorry later. A few days after that, I went back for the rest of my stuff and to see the dog. No camera, no performance. She made coffee, and we stood in the kitchen like strangers holding chipped mugs. She said, if you want to go, go. I won't fight you. Then softer. I finally realized how exhausting it's been for you to love me. At the door, she asked, do you think you'll come back? I'll always come back to the memory of you. I said, I just can't come back to this. A few months later, we filed for separation. She deleted TikTok and went quiet online. I've been seeing someone casually. Nothing dramatic. Just calm. Sometimes I miss Lena, but I miss the idea of her more than the person she chose to be. Her last message was a voice note. One sentence. I think the silence was your loudest apology, and maybe mine too.